Hi everybody, welcome to Aimee Nolte Music. Have you ever come across a chord that shouldn't work? Like by all means, by all laws of theory and the universe, it shouldn't work, but for some reason it does? I came across a chord like that quite a long time ago, and if anybody ever asks me what my favorite chord is, I always say that it's that one, because it kind of is. It just shouldn't work, but it works. I want to teach it to you today. If you'd like the worksheet that goes along with this video, all you have to do is click on the card above my head. You can go to my website and get it. All right, let me tell you about this chord and about the first time that I ever tried it. It was a mistake when I first tried it. I was playing my romance. I did this. It doesn't sound too crazy, does it? But there it was. Here it is, right here. This is the crazy chord. Do you see what it is? It's a G7 with my left hand. It is a G7 chord. I mean, the normal thing to do would be to maybe sharp the 5 and call it good. But I also sharped the 7. So in doing so, I play a B triad on top. Do you see that? There's the melody note, and that's why it works, is because the melody note's on the top. So now I've got an F sharp over a G7 chord. It's crazy, right? It's absolute madness, and there's no reason it should work except for that it does. Well, there are some reasons why it works. It works. One is because our ears are used to hearing triads. And our ears are actually used to hearing that sound. It's something that we do sometimes. We anticipate a C major chord by playing just a half step below it as a triad. We do that quite often. That's not so weird. But when we do that, we usually have a B in the bass. So to put the G in the bass, especially with the hard dominant 7, it's like it takes this thing that we're used to hearing, da, 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 and this thing that we're used to hearing, do, 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 be, da. It takes both of them and puts them together. So, I mean, that's why it works, but theory, like speaking, music theory-wise, it shouldn't work. You shouldn't be able to have a major 7 and a dominant 7 working together in the same chord. But we've got it, my friends. We've totally got it. All right, that's how it goes. Another reason why it works so nicely is because of the melody. Because this note goes so nicely to the G note. Like that. Anyway, it works really nicely, and it's a really cool sound to be able to hear. And it's also fun to try to think of other instances where it might work in music. Let me show you another one. Do you know this tune? You know that one? I remember you, you're the one who said I love you too. Right? Let's pretend we're to the end of that song. When my life is through and the angels ask me to recall the thrill of them all, I'll gladly tell them I remember you. And that works just as nicely, but it works because on the 5 chord, the 3 of the 5, the B over the G7 chord is the melody note. Then you just have to think of a different way to resolve it. Makes sense? So if you guys can think of any other instances where this happens, put them in the comments. I'd love to know other instances in songs where it works. If I had the time, I'd love to just sit and think about it. Maybe I will. That might be how I spend the rest of my day. You have no idea, do you? All right, so what I'd like to do is take you through this in all 12 keys. I would like to tell you how I think about doing it. And the worksheet, as you can see, takes you through all 12 keys in case you don't want to figure them all out, or it's hard for you to look at my hands and then, transfer it to the piano without actually seeing it written. I think it's super important that you're able to do that, but maybe you need to see things at first. I know different people learn in different ways. So just in case, there's a worksheet. Okay, this is how we're going to think about it. We've got a 2 chord. We're in the key of C. Our 2 chord is D minor. All we do is just play it in root position right there. Okay, and all we're going to do is play the root with our left hand for the minor chords. All of the minor chords, we're just going to play a root. And then, well, for the left hand, root, and then we go and play the 1 with the 7. Some people call that a shell. And then we're going to play the 1 and the 6. Got that? So it might be a nice idea to just walk yourself through all of the 12 keys doing that. And today, when we walk through the 12 keys, I'm going to go this way around the circle of fifths. We're going to do the circle of fifths instead of the circle of fourths, because I often do the circle of fourths, and I'd like to switch it up a little bit. And I think this exercise kind of sounds nicer going around the circle of fifths somehow. So yeah, 2, 5, 7, 1, 6. Then we're going to change to the key of G. So it's like, you see this 1, 6 here, this C major 6 chord that I have with my left hand? That becomes A minor in the key of G, all right? So then we have an A, and then a D7, and then a G6, all right? And then you kind of flip-flop this, it becomes E minor, and you just have the root, and then the 1 and the 7 of A7, and then the 1 and the 6 of D. So you could do all of that with your left hand if you want. I'm not going to do that whole thing. Right hand. Like I said, it spells out the 2 chord in root position. Really easy. D minor 7. Then you take this melody note. That's what it does. So you have to realize that the melody goes ba ba da da, and whatever the melody note is, the second note, you're just going to play a triad. The name of the note will be the name of the triad. All right, so it's a B triad. Then you're going to play, this is a C major 7 chord, but it looks like E minor. So, you know, you're playing the 5th and the 3rd and the 7. So you can kind of think, whatever key I'm in, you go up a minor 3rd. Maybe you have a better way to think about it, but that's kind of how I think about it. The 2 chord in root position, whatever this melody note is the name of the triad. And then So we've got the 1 and the 6 and the 7 and the 3 and the 5 for our major chord every time. And this kind of looks like E minor, right? Okay, so now we're gonna go to the key of G, and I'm just gonna take you through all of them, and at first I'll talk it out, and then I'll just play for you. A minor. Here's the melody note. You kind of have to use your ear to know what the melody note is. I like to do that. I mean, of course, you can think like you're in the key of G and what notes are sharped and flatted in the key of G or whatever, but I kind of don't like to do that. I just like to use my ear at the top. Da, da. You can just hear that it's a half step down, right? It's going to be a half step down every time. F sharp's the name of my triad, but I'm in the key of G, so my 5 chord is D7. I've got my 1 and my 6. My B minor triad right there. Now we go to the key of D. Right? Here's my melody note, so it's going to be a C sharp major chord. D6. It's a G sharp major chord over E7. Now at this point, they should be starting to get into your ears a little bit, and I'd like us to try to sing the next one. So here's the 2 chord. We're in the key of E, right? So F sharp minor 7. Now I'm going to go ahead and play this with my left hand, but I'm not going to play the E flat triad with my right hand. We're going to sing it. All right, so there's that. Here's our melody note. Let's see if I got it. Yeah. Good, let's try it again on the next one. It's hard to hear them. Now we're in the key of B, so there's our 2 chord. Let's sing the melody. Now here's our melody note right here. It's kind of fun fun and it's kind of hard. So challenge yourself with that as you go through. Try to sing the triad. It's pretty tough. That was the key of G flat major. Here comes the key of D flat major. Key of A flat. Key of E flat. Key of B flat. Key of F. And you can stop yourself, and try to sing any of these notes. You can try to sing the 6 before you play it. That'd be a fun idea. Da, 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 and you just hold on to it. Da. It's always a good idea to try to sing the inner voices because later on, if you decide to actually use this, you might want to go da, 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 or you might want to change it out for the sharp 11. Da, 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 da. And if you can hear those before they come out, it's always way better. Now, of course, the next thing for you to do is to try to play My Romance in all of the keys using this every time you get to it. And you can just knock yourself out doing that. I mean, go have a ball, do it all day. Go absolutely bonkers if you want. But no, it's really good. It's good to challenge yourself, and you don't have to play anything very hard. Say you're gonna go to the key of B. You don't have to play difficult voicings or anything. And here it comes, right? And there it is. And then, you don't have to do the whole thing. Just go that far and then go to another key. Try it in E flat or something. Yeah, good. Now the other way you can think about it, I forgot to tell you, is that like here we're in E flat, so we've got an F minor chord. You can think, what key am I going for? And that's E flat major, where's the home right now? And you can say to yourself, all right, so this triad is a half step or a semitone below E flat. That's another way you can think of it. Here's a screenshot opportunity for you. If you'd like, you can get the worksheet right here and you don't have to go to my website or anything. So there you go. That's your chord that shouldn't work, but it works. Dominant 7 with a major 7 in it. Who knew? Thanks for watching Aimee Nolte Music. I'll see you next time.